Welcome to Engineering Profits Part 4, Mystery Solved. If you haven't done the mystery in Part 3, you might want to go there first. So Alex was puzzled by Jonah's insistence or suggestion that he find a helper to run the CNC through breaks. And what Jonah had done was do some quick T-dollar calculations, right? So standard work T-dollars is the sales price of about $1,500 minus the slab cost of $700. It's $800 per slab. And if you remember, it takes half an hour to produce. Code work, on the other hand, was $1,900, generating $1,200 per slab in T-dollars, and took 1 hour to produce. And so therefore, the CNC router is generating T-dollars at a rate of $1,200 to $1,600 an hour. That is generating the money that stays in the business to pay the bills at a rate of $1,200 to $1,600. At that point in time, in the early 2000s, $10 an hour was all you needed to get a helper. That's $80 per day. Therefore, a helper will pay for themselves in just 4 minutes of production out the door, additional production out the door each day, which means apprentice CNC operator will pay for their week's wages covering just one 20-minute break. Now, I say an apprentice CNC operator because that was the advice. Get an apprentice so that you can always cover the CNC because the operator's going to go on vacation at some point. And if you have an apprentice and a second operator, you can split shifts and extend an 8-hour day into a 10 or 12-hour days just by staggering their start times. All right, do not run the promotion for code work. You'll hemorrhage money. What was the quick mental math that Jonah did? Well, it's octane, right? Standard octane, if you do the math, is $26.67 per minute, T-dollars being generated at the router. Code, on the other hand, was $20 per minute, T-dollars per minute. And if you did the math, if the CNC ran for 8 hours, the break-even octane was $20.83 per minute. And that means when you were running the code, they were not generating enough money to even cover their operating expenses. And that was a core problem. And so by just being able to quickly do math around octane and T-dollars per day or T-dollars per constraint minute, Jonah was able to very quickly put his finger on what to do. Alex also had a cash flow problem, right? And let's look at that. The Corian was purchased and stacked next to the router. So standard work had $1,500 in revenue tied up in it and took a half hour to produce. Code work, on the other hand, had $1,900 in revenue, right? That means the CNC router generated cash flow between $1,900 and $3,000 per hour. That's cash flow. Again, cash flow is what drives your business, right? There was over $400,000 in cash. If you figured 4 stacks of Corian at a ½ inch each, about 6 feet tall, that's $400,000 plus in cash tied up, and over $1 million in cash flow, just represented in the material that was already sold. Alex was sitting on a gold mine. All he had to do was break through the thinking that was actually being driven by his advisor around cost accounting. Break through the idea that margin is what makes you money in this business. Which gets me to my favorite Mark Twain quote: "It ain't what you don't know that gets you into trouble. It's what you know for sure that just ain't so." And if you're running your business based on margins, you don't know how you make money. So if your shop isn't making at least, and I mean at least, a 15% return on sales, give us a call. You're sitting on a gold mine.